Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy TEP Tuesday.
Happy TEP Tuesday.
I'm literally so excited for today. But first, we just want to apologize for the delay. There have been some technical difficulties, but we're back and we're better and we're ready to start today's conversation.
Yeah, we're ready to knock down today the real estate.
Yeah, we're so excited. But before we do that, you guys already know, share, 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 share. Real estate is a topic that that we look forward to everyone being a part of. So please share on Facebook, it's on YouTube.
To
Share with everybody.
just keep inviting people, invite your friend, your family. It's gonna be good gems today. Real estate. We want to learn more about that, and our guest today is gonna be like giving more gems today. So share, share, share. Invite your friend. That will invite their friend. That will invite their friend. Keep sharing. You know.
So before we get into the show, we just want to run through some things. So again, welcome to TEP Members Corner. Today, what is going to happen is that we're going to bring in one of our members to have them get the opportunity to talk about, what they experience and their services and what they provide within our community. So I know you guys know we have merch. So we have merchandise ranging from sweaters to mugs to t-shirts. And you can support us by going on to www.bonfire.com. What else do we have, Wada?
We have, if you want to support us with 1,000 view, or we want to advertise with us, we're averaging 1,000 of view. So just email us at tepdirect@gmail.com for more visibility.
Yeah, and we also have opportunities for you to collaborate, a chance for you to come on. We know that Lala Agency is there for you to help out. There are different ways that you're able to connect with them. And when it comes to contract writing, when it comes to customer service, bookkeeping, administrative tasks, it's a list of things that they have to offer to you. If you also need some social media consulting, that's also there for you. Yeah, so here we got free social media coaching by the one and only Cuisine 228. Incredible stuff she got. So it'll be really good for you to participate in that.
And also, if you want like free branding consultation, we have our guy, main and the one and the only, fully Teco design. Talk to him for free branding consultation.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So this is us. This is what we can provide. And we're so happy that we're able to come together in this moment. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Claudio Anthony. So, yeah. So you're probably wondering, who's Claudio Anthony? Yeah. So we're going to get right into it and we're going to bring to you his bio. So Claudio Anthony is a real estate professional and investor residing in Omaha, Nebraska. Claudio started his career with NP Dodge in 2016 and strategically moved to BHHS, a Fortune 500 company with the clear goal to increase exposure, profitability, and knowledge. Claudio is specialized in buying, selling, and investing in real estate. As a versatile professional, he can easily leverage his negotiating skills when helping his buyers showcase his marketing expertise when listing clients' properties, and utilize his strong design and business acumen when buying and selling investment properties. Mr. Anthony is progressively rising force in real estate in Nebraska and also by proxy through his family architectural firm, Cabinet Beau, in Lomé Togo. Claudio's integrity, relentless efforts, and clear love for his trade is what fuels his increase in business. His greatest inspirations are God, his wife of 20 years, and their beautiful two children. In his free time, he adores taking the family out to try new food, play games, enjoy quality times with his friends and community members.
What a bio.
What a bio. What a bio. So without further ado, let us introduce onto the virtual stage
Mr.
Claudio Anthony.
Tony.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello to my 228 family, 228 community.
Hello.
And Airline Water, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you
And
for
we
coming.
will have an awesome time tonight.
Yeah.
Love you today. We are waiting for you to give out more gems regarding real estate. So I'm really sure people out there, like behind the screen, are waiting as well to know more about the real estate. Are we?
Of course. I'm more than happy to share. And please, 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 every situation is going to be different. So people, give me a call, send me text, contact me whenever you have questions. I'm always available. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. So.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, we're going to start with the first question. And the first question is, what inspired you to start real estate?
Wow. Real estate. I I grew up in, I was, born in Lomé, raised in Lomé. My dad is an architect. So somehow from the get-go, I was involved in residential building, commercial sales, uh, buying, development, all of those stuff. So moving here, I kind of started I started in architecture, and then 2008 happened when there was no job in architecture and all those stuff. So I switched into marketing, but then there was I still wanted to be involved in real estate, in building, buying, selling somehow. So I switched into real estate from there,
Hmm.
just from the love of architecture, love of design, and then sales, and then seeing people happy when you buy your first house, all the reaction, the family building, the wealth building, all those aspects of what you can get out of real estate. That's what brought me to real estate.
Cool. That's good to know. I think you basically just fall into right away into the next question. Um, what inspired you to start real estate? If you can just maybe develop that balance, what inspired you to get to real estate?
So my aspiration, in fact, was that was always part of my plan to get into real estate somehow. Because if you talk to a lot of rich or wealthy people, somehow they are involved in some real estate activity, investment, especially. So just that aspect, because it is something that pretty much real estate is something that you own forever, and then it's actually something that you can touch, that you can see, that you can leave to your children. It's your inheritance. It's your legacy that you leave to your children, pretty much. So that aspect is what I love the most, because a lot of stuff that we leave for our children are maybe a hefty bank account, a lot of money, a financial portfolio. All those stuff you cannot touch, you cannot see. For example, you can check your bank account online, but you don't have the money in your bedroom, for example. The
Right.
house, the building is something that you can see every day, you can maintain, you can see, and then you pretty much can leave to your children. It's something that you can tangible that you can leave to your children. So that aspect is what I love the most. And then the fact that I've grew my upbringing was in architecture, design, and all those little stuff that stay in me. And then the last thing is not the money. I can guarantee you that much. It's not the money. The last thing that I really, really, really enjoy is seeing the smile in people's face. When
Wow.
you buy your first house, when you see your what you were able to build or buy with your money, there is
Mm-hmm.
always a sense of joy being able to do that, and especially when you are in a foreign country. your first house, it's also always something that you are really proud of. So being able to provide that to people, that's usually the highlight of my day.
That's really nice to hear. And then when you talked about like the joy in being able to buy your first home, especially in a land that's not, your native grounds, I think I can agree with you that most people would be like, it's a moment to remember.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So someone just asked us, does Mr. Anthony sell mansions?
Well, whoever that was, I'm waiting for that person. I'm waiting for that person. But yeah, it depends on what you call mention. Your mention might be different than somebody else mentioned. But yes, I do say
Really?
mention. Yes.
Oh, how so?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's somebody that's living from a 900 square foot apartment to a 2,000 square foot apartment, they will view it as a mansion. At the same time, somebody that's maybe lived their whole life in a big house, for them that 2,000 is nothing. So a mansion for them, by their definition, is going to be something huge. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. So, what are the basic things that people should understand when it comes to real estate? Like, for example, if someone were to ask you what exactly is real estate, what are some basic foundational things that people should know?
Ooh. Real estate by definition is something, it's your I'm just going to go to right to the term, is your house and everything that's attached to your house, pretty much. It could be your house, it could be your commercial building. So that's what real estate is, in fact. The tangible part. It's not just the land, it's everything that's on the land and everything that's attached to it. It can be residential, it could be commercial, it could be industrial, it could be raw land, or it could be something we call special use. So that's what real estate is.
Okay.
And what was the second part of your question again?
Oh, you kind of like summed it up. I basically just asked, like, what are some basic things people should know about real estate? For example,
Okay.
if someone wanted to get into it, you just explained that real estate is not only the home, but also like the grounds attached to it. I think
Yes.
oftentimes people think of the house itself or the building itself.
Okay. It's a whole package. And then, like you say, for somebody that would be interested in real estate, if you pretty much tell somebody you are in real estate, you are either selling and buying, I'm saying, and then investing. Investing, you have a lot of investors, people that sometimes it's a group of people that get together and like to invest in real estate. They can buy land, build on it, and resell. Some people will buy, flip, which is buy, fix, and resell. And some people will just buy and then rent it out and build equity in that house. And then they might down the road sell it or keep it till it's paid off. It depends. So if you say you're going to be involved in real estate, of course there are a lot of aspects in real estate, but mostly when you tell somebody I'm in real estate, you're either selling, buying, or an investor.
Okay. So I think you kind of like already touched the next question. So what exactly is buying, selling, and investing in real estate?
So buying is when you acquire the house. So the process, it's a very long process. Pretty much it goes from financing or if you're paying cash for it. So that's the buying aspect of real estate. A lot of people that you see don't buy with cash. Although there are people that have that much money that can move with cash. But usually it goes through financing and you have to pretty much have a lender, have a down payment. I don't think we'll have enough time. I wish we have enough time. If we have questions about it, I'll be happy to answer them. But the buying part of it, it's a long process that you have to go through a bank with. And it does include checking your credit score, see how much asset you have, your liability, how much you have in the bank, and your job history, your tax that you filed the last 2 to 3 years, and all those stuff. Selling is a lot easier because if you're selling, you probably already went through that process before. So selling is usually selling and buying, they both go through a title company. So you don't have the problem that we have back home where one person can, somebody can sell a house to two different people. So that there is a special process here that people follow in order for that not to happen. So the selling part is I help people sell their house because for the most part, in order for you to sell your house, you have to have access to an agent, and then we have a platform that we use to sell your house pretty much. So that is the selling part. Investing is a little different. Investing is most people, when they invest in real estate, they buy the property, they don't live in it. They buy it, they rent it, or they have somebody else living in it. They'll pay you a rent that you use to pay your mortgage, and then you have to be able to make a profit off of that property.
Okay.
So it's just like you have a little bit of money, you go buy a property, and then let's just say you have a mortgage on it. So your goal is to make money off of that property, right? So you take that property, you let somebody else live in it, pay you rent, and the goal is for you to be able to make a profit from what they are paying you. Like, let's just say somebody's paying you $2,500 for your house, okay? And your mortgage on that house, or what you're paying the bank for that, is, let's say, maybe $2,000. Then at the end of each month, you have $500 coming to you for the duration of that person being in the house. So that's the investing part of real estate.
Okay. I think we have another question.
So the next question that we have here is, how is the competition with those websites that offer real estate services affecting your in-person agent work?
Well, I'm going to say in Omaha, for example, okay, in big cities, sometimes they are, I can say they are a little more accurate than in Omaha because they like of Zillows and Realtor.com and all those. What they see is what you show them pretty much. They don't get access to the houses. So Zillow can give you a valuation for your house, but that's going to be based on what's sold in your area. For example, they don't see the inside of your house. They don't see the condition the house is in. They just go by neighborhood or zip code in order to give you a valuation. So even now in Omaha, for example, most houses are selling for more than what Zillow is telling you that the house is going to sell for. So somebody can say, well, Zillow is giving me this price for my house. By all means, you can list your house on Zillow and try to sell it. But I guarantee you 98 or 99% of the time, I can get you more money. So it's just they give you the data, but they don't actually walk into the house and give you an actual opinion of the condition of your house compared to the other house. And then a lot of people that are actually looking for a house, some of them will go on Zillow, but they will almost always go to a realtor that will go through our database, and then that will give you a comparison of what your market comparison of that house in comparison to everything that's in that neighborhood. For example, like if you give me an address, I can pull all the data of all the house in that neighborhood. That is something that Zillow doesn't give you. They only give you what's available per zip code. The neighborhood is going to be different.
Wow.
I never knew that.
Yeah, Zillow. Well, I mean, when you go to any website, is everything that they will give you is going to be something that's going to reel you back in. So Some information are correct, of course, but it's always better to go with somebody that's local and that is actually looking at the house that you're talking about.
It's always better as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Very true. I think it just expands the experience more. And given your experience, I think it's really important that people are able to be more communicative with a person as opposed to an online person or like agent. Let's go. So you meant okay, we got another question from the crowd. It says, since you are in Omaha and you know the market well, is there a certain area of the city that it's better to invest in income property?
A certain area, really not. It all depends on your budget. What I like to tell people is don't, like, if you like to focus on a certain area, I can tell you, well, this area of the city is going to give you more money, but then you have to invest more money in the first place in order to be able to buy property in that area. And then something that I like to tell people is everybody, regardless of their income, is going to need a shelter, a house. You can spend 100,000 and then 100,000 on the house. It might not be in the neighborhood or the area that you like, but you're still going to have somebody that's going to live in the house.
Right.
So instead of looking at the areas of the city, I rather you look at your return, the return of on your investment, for example. Because if you have a house that's in a very good neighborhood that you're renting for 2,500, you have to ask yourself, how come, why is somebody renting in a 2,500 neighborhood and not buying, for example? So there is a lot of questions that you have to ask yourself versus focusing on one area of the city, for example. But I'll tell you this much: anywhere where you can get the most return of your money is going to be the best area of the city for you.
Okay. That sounds really good. And one thing that you mentioned before, I just wanted to bring it back. You talked about house flipping, and it seems to be like a trend that's going on, buying a house and then flipping it, and then. So if you can just explain that more and just allow other people to understand what exactly is the house flipping.
Because furthermore, I want to flip houses too, so I want to know.
He wants to flip.
Well, house flipping is pretty much you buying a property and then most of the time fixing it up, spend a little bit of money to fix it, and then turn it around. And some people will resell. But reselling is a good option. Some people will rather rent it out to somebody so they can build some equity, which is usually an extra income for you. And then in the long run, some people will keep it for 5, 10 years. And once you see that they have a lot of equity in the house, they can sell it and get more money, they do so. So flipping is just a process of buying an existing home that might need some work, fixing it up and selling or renting it out.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, I think I got it.
It's not any different than somebody that's buying a car, fixing that car up, and then reselling it.
Right.
With a house.
Right. It looks like we have a question here, and you just mentioned equity. It is, what is the equity? What is the equity of a house? So, when you talk about building equity, what exactly is that?
Equity is nothing more than pretty much when you buy a house, for example, you have a mortgage on it, right? Over time, what happens to that mortgage? The mortgage, the balance will decrease, but then the equity, the value of your house is going to increase. So the equity is nothing more than the difference between what you owe the bank and what your house is worth. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
Like when you buy your house at 150, you have 30 years or 15 years to pay it off. But over time, every single year, the value of your house is going to appreciate. Okay? So every time when your house is appreciating and then you're decreasing your mortgage, there is going to be a gap. The gap is going to get bigger over time, right? So the equity is the difference between what you owe and what your house is worth. That gap is what they call the equity.
Okay, that sounds good. So we have another question here. It says, I believe it's number 3. We can put it on the screen. It says, I'm willing to buy a new house. Should I buy first before selling my own, or sell before buying?
Well, that's going to be your lender is going to let you know that. Because if based on your situation you can afford both, in that case I'll say whatever works for you. If you know that you're like right now it's the seller's market in a lot of places. Okay, so if you don't need to tap into your equity to buy your new house, I'll say I'll tell you don't sell it. You can keep it and rent it out, and keep building equity on that. But if you like to sell, you can, depending on your market. If you are in Omaha, we can sit down, we can talk about it, and then I'll give you all the options that are available out there. Some bank will even do what they call a bridge loan, where they let you keep your house and then you sell it and then you buy the other one. And so you have a little delay in when you have to move out of yours and then move into the new one.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it works is I've done deals where you buy a house, and then once you know you already have a house to move into, let's just say you buy your house today, okay? And then you say, I'm going to move into that house. Today is what? 17th of August, right?
Right.
You say, I'm going to move into that house on the 17th of September, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So 17th of September, what you can do, we can, after you've already purchased a new house, we can put your house on the market and do both closings at the same time. So what happens is you sign the papers, you get your key for your new house on the 17th, right? And then in that evening, your buyer for your house will go and sign the papers for your house so they can get your house. And so pretty much on that same day, you have to move out of your house into the new one, or there are times where we can negotiate for you to stay in your house for one extra night. So that gives you time to move out of your house into your new home before your buyer, because at that point you are a seller and a buyer too. So between that, your buyer will have to give an extra day before they can move into your house. Sometimes if the buyer is very greedy, they will ask you to pay them rent for one night too, though. So that happens. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to know. Before we move to, since we're talking about buying, so we have another question right here. Will you advise to sell your house to those buying cash or not?
Why not? Why not? If they're giving you what your house is worth, yes, why not? It doesn't hurt. Whether it's financing or cash, I just see it's just the profit that you're making off of it. A lot of people will tell you because it's cash, they don't have to go through an appraisal. Appraisal is when you're buying your house, the bank is going to make sure the house that you're buying for $200,000 or $500,000 is worth $200,000 or $500,000 before you move into it.
That's good to know.
So that's something that somebody that has cash is not going to go through. They can just come and say, well, I like your house, I'll give you this amount for it. So if the amount that they're giving you is what you're looking for, yeah, sell it. Sell it. But for me, especially now in the market that we are in, it's a seller's market. I'll say put it out there. Let everybody bid on it. If the person that has cash is serious, then they will offer what everybody else is offering you. If they're not willing to, and then somebody is giving you is going through a bank or is giving you more, if your house is in good condition and then you think that everything or your agent is telling you that the house is worth that much, go for it. Don't sell for cash.
Yeah, that makes
Don't
sense.
don't leave any money on the table. Don't.
I hope this answers Josiane's question. So, Aria, what do you have next?
So right now we're just gonna go into a quick break. So many people are loading with questions. Real estate is a hot topic. So right now for 30 seconds, we're about to jump into our break. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So yeah, as you can see, real estate is a hot topic. A lot of people want to know about it. A lot of people want to get involved with it. And we're just so happy that, people are able to do this. With the time that we have left, I believe someone does have another question from Hakeem. He says, if someone does have cash to buy an income property, do you advise getting a home loan? And if you already have a mortgage on the home that you live in, how likely are lenders willing to loan you money for another home?
It all depends on with the bank, most of the stuff that they will ask you is show me the money, right? So if you can afford a new mortgage on a new property, the bank is gonna decide that. If you have cash, what I tell people is, okay, let's just say you're willing to buy an investment property, for example, and then we are at, let's say you have 100 grand, okay, to buy one property. That 100 grand will most likely help you buy 4 different properties, okay? Because if it's going to be an investment property, most likely the bank is going to ask you for 25% down, right? So if you can afford it, and then the bank can lend you money. If you take that 100,000, for example, you can buy a property worth 400,000, right?
Yeah.
So I'd rather you go that route than taking the 100,000 and buying one single property and make money off of that. Pretty much when you do that your 100,000 is going to be stuck in that property forever. But if you have 4 different property, that's 4 incomes for you. And then most likely because those property are going to they'll pay for themselves, right? You might get a few months here and there where you'll have to cover the mortgage yourself because it's vacant, for example, right? But if you have one property and that property is vacant, you have 100% vacancy. You don't have any money coming in. If you have 4 properties, one is vacant, you have a 25% vacancy, you're still getting money from those 3 properties. And then I can guarantee you that those 3 properties will be paying the mortgage for all 4. So you will not be paying anything out of pocket. So my advice is going to be talk to a lender or holler at me. We'll schedule a time with a lender. We'll sit down and then they will show you everything that you can do with that 100,000 versus you buying a property for cash. Because most investors, they will tell you, most people, when they buy a property for cash, most of the time they will turn around and use that money or that equity that they have and leverage that into buying something else again. So it's just a matter of time. If you have one property, only one property that's paid off, you use cash for it. I guarantee you 2-3 years down the road, you'll be using that equity to buy something else.
Okay.
Sounds good. That sounds good. So of course there are so many more questions, but like Claudio said that, his information is here. You guys can schedule time to talk to him to go more in depth. Be on the lookout for his website. It's claudio.elitesnebraska.com. And with the time that we have left, we really just want to open the floor for you to just say anything that is really crucial for our community to know when it concerning real estate.
Well, first of all, what I'm going to say is, if you have any question, I know I'm licensed in Nebraska, but real estate, for the most part, is the same everywhere. Even if you live out of town, you have questions before you go talk to somebody, you can reach out to me. We can chat, and then I'll give you some tips. If you live in Omaha, I'm more than happy to help you buy a house, sell a house, or get into investment. I have contacts. I have people I can get you in touch with. I can explain the process to you, as when we're talking about lenders and all those stuff. So I have contact for contractors that I can share with you, all of those stuff. I'm more than happy. I'm available any time of the day. I'm just a phone number away. Text me, email me. I'm there. And then we have to, as a community, I think one of the things that we're scared of is taking risk. This is the only risk that I'll advise you to take, is to buy a house. Stop living in an apartment. Stop making somebody else rich. And if your landlord is from Togo, stop making him rich also. You need to buy your own house. You need to build equity for yourself and leave something for your children.
I think when you said it's important to take a risk, and I also learned not taking a risk is also a risk. So you need to choose what risk you want to take a part of, and you want to choose the one that pushes you further, that pushes you higher. So I really appreciate that and how you said it, because our community needs that. So I thank you to being one of the pioneers within our community to go upon real estate. You were going to say something?
If I may add something. One myth that we have is that you need to have a lot of money before you can buy a house. Okay. Today, of course, it's going to it'll depend on your credit, your income to debt ratio, and all those stuff. Okay. But today, I can get you in a house with less than $5,000 out of pocket. You don't have to have 20% to get into a house. Okay, a lot of people say that it is good to have 20%, but the time that is going to take you to accumulate that 20% before you buy a house, the price of the house is going to increase by more than that 20%. So there are lenders that are willing and ready to get you into a house with less than $5,000. I've gotten people into a house with less than $1,000 out of pocket. So it's doable, it's possible, it's out there.
So is it only in Nebraska, or it's going to be?
There are different programs anywhere that you just need to talk to the right person in order to get into those. But yes, most of the time it's available in a lot of places.
That's why you don't have to miss direct.
Yes.
It's happening here.
Don't wait to buy a house. And okay, I know we're almost out of time, but one more thing. If you're paying $950 for your apartment, it means you can pay $950 for a house. It might not be in the part of the city that you want, but that's an investment that you instead of living in an apartment, get a house for that $950, build equity, or just do your best to pay it off the faster you can, and that's money for your children.
That's very true.
If there is anybody out there that is planning on buying a house in, let's say, 1 year or 2 years, let's sit together. You show me what you like to have as a house. I will pretty much give you an idea how much your payment is going to be. Okay. And then what the challenge I give people is from the day we talk, every single month. Okay. If we sit down and you say, okay, the house that I want, I can afford up to $1,500 as a mortgage every month. Okay. And then you live in an apartment that's $1,000, right? Every month from that day, I want you to act like if you were paying $1,500 for your mortgage. Okay. That difference, go to a gas station or a bank, get a money order for the difference. If it's $500 every month, take a money order for $500, put it in your bedroom somewhere. After a year, you have $6,000 waiting for you. And then you are already used to paying a mortgage for $1,500. So when you move into your house, everything is easy because you've been doing that for almost 2 years. And then on top of that, if it's 2 years, you have $12,000 that you can use to buy furniture. It's that easy.
Wow.
So if you plan or if you're thinking about buying a house, do that. And then when it's time to buy your house, everything will be easy for you.
That's good to know. My people, you guys need to reach out to Claudio for more information. Don't miss out. Go to his website, hit him up, Yes.
Yeah, let me know. I'm always available. So.
Well, that was amazing. Little last nuggets that you have given us. Should we do this final question? Let's do this final question. So it says, since this is such a time-consuming process, how do you handle work and life balance? And this is the final one. Then we're gonna wrap up our show.
It is very hard because I try to be available to my clients and my friends. And I'm very grateful for the very wonderful wife and children because we can be watching a movie and then I'm on my phone. But I'm very, very grateful for the good Lord for giving me a very, very patient woman and very understanding children for sure. It's hard. It's hard. But you have to do what you have to do. I wish I could say it's a 9 to 5 job, but it's not. At least for me, it's not. I work every day.
Well, we appreciate you and we thank you for what you're doing in the real estate field. And we hope to have you back again. Thank you so much for all the wonderful gems and nuggets. This show has been amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you for your time.
Be back anytime soon.
I'm more than happy to.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening, and God bless you all.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Thank you.
Yes, my people. Ariel, I think I'm gonna buy a house.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. To Claudio tonight.
Right.
Because
Right.
A lot today.
Yes.
Hope you
Let's get on it.
Yeah. I hope you people as well out there, you guys learn a lot. And don't miss out. Reach out to him if you have more questions. I know there's a lot of questions out there. So basically, reach out to him. He's Claudio, and he'll be more than happy to help you guys. Go to claudio.nebraska.com and reach out to him, and he will help you guys.
Yeah. So guys, right before we leave, we just want to make sure that you do follow us on our social media accounts. We're available on Instagram and Facebook. That's where you can get our latest updates and everything. So be sure to follow TEP Direct on Instagram, on Facebook, and also subscribe to us on YouTube as well. And that's all. See you guys.
If you miss out today, go and rewatch the show because we don't want to miss a lot of gems for tonight.
Right.
So that's it.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Everyone.